Hello there, Internet Land. This is Carrie Thor with ABC Coaching and Counseling. Welcome to your weekly training. I am excited to be here with you today. Again, this is something that I do every week to help people with different tips and tricks on how to really live well. And today's is a really important topic because a lot of people can't handle the stress of the holidays. And the stress of the holidays contribute to a lot of anxiety problems, a lot of problems with depression, and especially holidays right around now where there's a lot more to worry about than just the typical, am I going to, make ends meet over these holidays? Am I going to overdo it? Am I going to underdo it? Am I going to eat too much? Am I going to do, there's a lot more to worry about. So this is one of those moments where, a lot of times stress levels tend to be starting to creep up. People are starting to realize, I've got to get that last minute gift. I need to go get the meal planned. I've got to get all the different things that we have on the list to make this the best holidays that we can have. And the thing is we get stuck a lot of times in those expectations. And when we get stuck in the expectations and the expectations are not met, what happens? We get stressed out and we get disappointed. So there's a lot of different things that will contribute to stress right now. And it's not too different than what contributes to stress in the regular time of life, but holidays seem to exacerbate it. So we get this idea of what it's supposed to look like. What is this holiday supposed to look like? The last couple of years have looked a little strange. A lot of people haven't been able to spend time with their families the way they want to spend time with their families. They haven't necessarily been healthy to do that either. So there's also a ton of loss that people are dealing with right now. That's an added feature of this holiday season. Loss of either loved ones or loss of time with loved ones, and just the sense of loss of our normalcy. This sense of like, I haven't had a normal holiday season in the last couple of years. I don't even know what this is to look like. So we stress about our expectations. I expect it to look a certain way and it doesn't. We stress about trying to make it perfect, because if it's perfect, then no one can complain. If it's perfect, then no one will judge. I won't be rejected. I'll gain the sense of belonging. I'm going to be awkward and weird. That's another one I've heard a lot of people stressing about right now. So I'm going to be awkward and weird because, hey, I don't really know how to interact with people anymore. I haven't been in a public event in a long time. Am I going to wear a mask? Am I not going to wear a mask? Is it going to be, all that stuff, right? Like there's these added pandemic stressors that can make it hard to engage in relationships the way that we used to. And especially with isolation being so high for the last couple of years, that people are just like, I don't even know how to engage or relate or how to create a relationship again, because I've been literally doing this on my own for so long. So stressing out about just how do I relate to people? How do I make sure that my gift is meaningful? I've had that come up in recent coaching and therapy sessions. This idea of how do I know that what I'm providing and contributing out there is adding value and adding meaning? And this is where it comes back to perceptions. It comes back to our expectations. We expect it to look a certain way. And when it's not measuring up or it's not aligning with what we think it should be, then it turns that inner critic on hyperdrive. And suddenly it's the volume of that critic is really loud. And it's like, I'm not enough. I'm not contributing enough. I'm not doing it right. I'm not engaging in the right ways. I am bad in some way. So now we've got shame adding to stress, adding to guilt, adding to anxiety and depression and fears and all these other things that makes this season particularly troubling for a lot of people. So I want to give you a couple tips that can help in the holiday season with managing your stress levels. Because if there's some things that you can control, why not mitigate those and manage those so that you can actually really move forward in this holiday season in the most healthy way? possible, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay. So a big one here is try to commit to your healthy habits. Okay. So healthy habits, sleeping well. Okay. There's going to be a couple nights that are late nights. Okay. But do you have to make it every day for the next 3 weeks? No, you don't. Try to keep your sleep schedules going. Eating well. There's going to be so many temptations. There's so many different things that we get triggered into eating. I know I'm a cookie baker. I love making like 17 different types of cookies. But then it's like, wait a second, there's only a couple of us here, and now we have 17 types of different cookies. So making the choice of how do I want to continue that tradition, but maybe making it a healthier plan. If you also find yourself snacking on a lot of different things that are unhealthy because they're available, make them less available. Don't buy those ginger snaps at the store. Right? Now, this can be easier said than done. A lot of these holiday eating habits tend to come out of this traditional mindset. I know Thanksgiving, it's like this huge meal that we all plan for, this feast. And we do the same thing with Christmas and other holidays that people celebrate. I mean, New Year's for sure is about indulgence. This idea of like, how do I keep my healthy habits? A commitment to me feeling my best. Because I got to say, I'd rather feel my best throughout the holidays than have New Year's come around and say, oh, now I've got to start all over. And I got to regroup and re-energize these healthy habits. Okay. So that's the number one, healthy habits, eating well, moving well, sleeping well. Try to commit to those as much as possible and give yourself permission for some grace when the choice is maybe to the unhealthy thing. Okay. So number 2 is going to be accepting imperfection. It's not going to be the perfect holiday. Cookies are going to break. You might be making those beautiful sugar cookies that are all, royalized and suddenly you lose the arm of your little gingerbread man. Okay. One dropped. I know one year I was making these beautiful shaped, cut out cookies. And I literally was moving a finished set off over to the the cooling rack and hit the counter, and they fell to the ground and they all crumbled. And I'm like, well, now I got cookie crumbles. What can I make with cookie crumbles? Instead of getting caught up in this, it had to be perfect. I have to go make a whole other batch. It's like, no, I'm going to do something different. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it won't be. It won't be. Because again, the expectations we have are so through the roof for these perfect holidays. It's give yourself, again, that place in that place of almost mindfulness that it's going to be imperfect, and that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. It's going to be it's not about perfection. It's about connection. It's about relationships. It's about giving and connect. And again, like connecting with your better self, not about having the perfect cookies on the table or having the perfect meal on the table or getting that perfect present wrapped under the tree. It's about being able to be your best, whatever that is in this moment. All right. And this is the third step is healthy habits is one. Second is don't lose sight that it's like, accept that imperfection and recognize what's really important is the third one. Like, what is it about holiday celebrations that are truly important? It's about the relationships. It's about connecting. It's about being able to, again, re-engage in ways that maybe you haven't been doing these last couple of years. All right. Maybe it is about giving of your time rather than giving of an item. Right. I think there's times where we get sort of caught up with, well, I've got to have the best and the brightest. It's a status thing. Right. And then we stress about the status. Like, did I have the most awesome present under the tree that this person celebrated and thanked me so much? It was the best thing since sliced bread. Like, it's a status thing. It's not, and that's not what this is all about, right? Like the whole point of holiday celebrations is for sharing love and thankfulness and gratitude and all those positive things that we want to feel in our heart, remember that's what's important here. Stop stressing about the small stuff. Stop stressing about whether, you have the presents under the tree. Who cares? It's not about presents. It's not about, and my 5-year-old would disagree with that. I hear you. I hear you moms out there and dads out there that are saying, well, but when you've got so-and-so asking Santa for this new, call it, it's going to be hard to disappoint them. And it's like, well, maybe being present and being with them is more important. Being available to them is more important. Not having the gadgets in their face is more important, because it's the memories that matter. It's what you're creating that counts. Really, how does this frustration or stress really fit in the greater scheme of things? Is it really that important, or am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Also, responding with kindness. This is a hard time for a lot of people. Remember that people are not necessarily going to be their best actors in the day-to-day living. Not just because of it being holiday season, but because of all the accumulation of stress over the last couple of years and beyond. If somebody's this is a really bad time of year for them, it might be triggering. It might be a reminder of a bad time in their life, or it is currently a bad time in their life. This is maybe giving them some grace, giving them being able to say, if somebody's acting badly, be able to tell yourself, this person's suffering. I don't know what's going on in their life. I can be compassionate. I don't need to take abuse. I don't need to take hostility, but I don't need to respond in kind if I'm getting a negative response from somebody. Because remember, this isn't necessarily a celebration for everyone. There's, going back to that idea, there's been a lot of loss over these last couple of years, that this might be, again, a really hard time for people, and being able to give yourself and give that person some grace, that they're not necessarily acting from a place of love and celebration, because it's not that time for them. So keep in mind that the holidays can be really difficult for people. And so take a few breaths, shift the thinking into a place of like, how can I help this person out right now, rather than getting in their face or getting agitated as well, because that's not going to serve either one of you. All right. So far we've got healthy habits, commit to those. We've got don't focus on perfection. Imperfection is reality. Okay. Recognize what the holiday season is really about, and focus more time and energy on what's important. Respond with kindness. And lastly, I want you to think about, as we move into the new year, rethink the idea of resolutions. All right. So resolutions tend to be these high ideals that we can't aspire to, and we tend to give up on them pretty quickly, which is why resolutions don't tend to work. A lot of people resolve to do certain things, and they don't tend to work. So rethink that into a space of like, what big goals do I have, and how do I actually break down those goals over the year? And that's something that I definitely can help you with in my coaching capacity, and work really diligently with you on, and saying, okay, what are my 2022 goals, and how do I actually move into those goals rather than away from them because they're too big and I get overwhelmed. So this is one of those areas that I'd encourage you to really reach out if you're sitting there going like, yeah, I really want to see what this next year holds for me. I'm planning on doing a masterclass or a workshop around goal setting, particularly for the next year, and how we can really move into this new year with something feasible, something that actually can be created. So if that would be something you're interested in, comment or message me. I'd love to get you on the list and be able to send that out to you, because I want to be definitely in January. We're going to be getting rolling with that as quickly as possible to help move forward. So I hope this was helpful. I appreciate anybody that's watching. And if you have any comments, questions, ideas, comment in the comments below, or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you on what your thoughts are about managing stress. And also, if you have ideas for managing stress, especially during high stress times, put those in the comments as well. I'm sure other people would appreciate that. So thank you again for taking the time and watching this training video. And if you have any thoughts, let me know. Looking forward to talking to you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.